You've always imagined church meetings would go something like this, and you're surprised to find that they turn out more like this. Meetings of all types and sizes can turn out to be much more difficult than first expected, and thankfully comes to the rescue General Henry M. Robert. His Robert's Rules of Order, first published in 1876, have become a mainstay in guiding meetings of all types and sizes, in conducting healthy discussion, and in arriving at productive decisions. Robert's Rules of Order is the most widely used book of parliamentary procedure. These rules, developed through centuries of trial and error in English parliamentary discussion, are useful for all types of meetings and including meetings within the church. Once a meeting has been properly called, a quorum has been established, presider and secretary have been appointed, the meeting is then called to order, and the meeting then follows the agenda or a standard order of business. And in the course of the meeting, the group will begin to take actions on the business at hand. And this is where Robert's rules really kick into gear. Business is first proposed, whether at the end of a report or during an item of business, and it is introduced by a motion. That is, a formal proposal that the group take a certain action. Someone may say, for instance, I move we establish a Bible study on the book of Revelation on Tuesday mornings. Everybody wants to study Revelation. Once a motion has been formally made, it is then seconded by another member of the group. They simply say, I second the motion. And then the motion and its merits are up for debate among the group as a whole. Now, one thing of importance is that motions are stated precisely, for what will be voted on in the end is a very specific proposal. And so it's important that this proposal be fully understood by those voting on it, and so that they can amend it if needed appropriately. Once a motion has been clearly made and seconded, it is then repeated clearly by the chair, so that all in the group fully understand what is being under debate. What then follows is consideration of the motion, or debate. Some may feel that there are already too many Bible studies happening at the church. Others may feel that Thursday may be a better day than Tuesday. Another may feel Revelation should be studied in conjunction with the rest of the Johannine literature. This is when those considerations take place as a group, and Robert's Rules posits certain rules to help this discussion. Firstly, only one member ought speak at a time. The member speaking has the floor, and until they've finished presenting their thoughts, no other members should speak and interrupt them. Furthermore, each member should only speak a certain number of times. Traditionally, each member is only allowed to speak twice on a given motion for a limit of up to 10 minutes. However, in most congregational settings, a more relaxed approach to this rule prevails. And yet, if conversation is going on and on, it may be helpful to set limits on debate to keep meetings efficient and to the point. And 2, there is a rule on germaneness, that is, comments made have to pertain to the motion at hand. There is rule also against attacking other members. While a given motion may be vigorously debated, it is out of order to impugn another or to question another member's motives. And 2, there are certain formalities of speech used during debate, so that all members of the group, and especially the chair, understand exactly what is being said and clearly what action is being proposed. And while most church meetings are a little more casual, knowing these formalities and using them as much as convenient does help to streamline meetings quite a bit. During debate, if members want to change or adjust the motion at hand, they propose amendments to the motion. This, too, is typically done in a very formal manner, which may not be adhered to within a church meeting. And here, too, very specific, precise wording is used. A member can amend a main motion by adding words to it. For instance, if they thought specifying the time of the Bible study at 10 a.m. would be helpful, They might amend the main motion by suggesting adding the words at 10 a.m. to the end of the main motion. This amendment, once made, is itself debatable and amendable. And if carried, the main motion is adjusted to include the amendment. Likewise, an amendment can be made to strike out words from a main motion. A member may not want to restrict the Bible study to the book of Revelation, and so propose that the words on the book of Revelation be struck out from the motion. And 2, words can be struck out and inserted. The same person may want the Bible study to cover any book from the New Testament, and may thereby propose the amendment to strike out the words on the book of Revelation and insert the words on any book of the New Testament. So far, we have discussed amending a brief motion with very specific language, but in greater contexts, when, say, bylaws are being amended or a manual is being adopted, such amendments can pertain to entire paragraphs or sections of the motion as well, generally following these same functions of adding sections, of removing sections, or of substituting sections of a larger proposal. These amendments, again, can themselves be debated and amended. And as this process can become fairly complex, especially for those who are not experienced in parliamentary procedure, in a congregational setting, it may be best to scrap the proposed motion and make a new motion with the proposed wording intact. And during the course of debate, it may occur to a member or a majority of members that the body is not ready to consider a motion at that specific meeting. If more information is needed, or if people would like to reflect on the proposal for a time, they can postpone the motion to a subsequent meeting. Likewise, if the topic under consideration is more appropriately under the domain of an established committee, or if the body feels a smaller group could better handle the details of a motion at hand, the body can commit or refer the motion to a committee to make decision on it or to bring it back with a suggestion to the main body. A motion then thoroughly discussed and amended to a final form suitable to the group is finally brought by the chair to a vote. The chair first asks all if there is any further debate, and if seeing none, they then clearly state the question at hand, saying, "The question is on the motion of establishing a Bible study on Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. on the book of Revelation." The chair then asks the body to vote, first by asking for those in favor by saying yea or aye, and then asking those opposed to say nay or no. Usually, the chair is able to determine whether the motion carries or not, and then announces to the group whether the yeas or the noes have it, whether the motion is carried or lost, and of what the ensuing result of the motion will be. For example, the president may say, "The ayes have it, the motion is carried, and a Bible study will be established Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. on the book of Revelation." Now, in most cases, motions are determined by majority vote, that is, more than 50% of the votes cast. However, some motions require a greater proportion of the vote, such as 2/3 of the vote, or 1/2 of the total membership of the body, including people who may not be present. And 2, sometimes other methods of voting may be desired. Usually, votes are taken by voice, but a presider may request people to stand or to raise their hands to indicate their vote. Even in these cases, the vote is traditionally not counted. However, if the vote is close or if the outcome is uncertain, the presider or members of the group may request that the vote be carefully counted. And 2, on sensitive matters, such as officer elections or highly disputable topics, a vote by ballot may be desirable. Any of these methods may be appropriate in various circumstances, and regardless of the means by which the vote is taken, if the required number of votes is received, the motion carries. Now, to this point, we've discussed motions of action and also amendments, which are themselves a type of motion. But there are a wide variety of other motions that can be made and sometimes need to be made during a meeting. For instance, there is a motion to adjourn a meeting if the people are tired or if business has been concluded. Likewise, there can be a motion to recess or take a break if people need respite. There is a motion of point of order if any member feels that they are not properly following parliamentary procedure. There is a motion of parliamentary inquiry if any member has a question about the parliamentary procedure at hand. There is a motion to reconsider business already adopted earlier in the meeting, and motions to rescind or amend something previously adopted at a prior meeting. There is a motion to end discussion and bring the motion to a vote. There is a motion to table or set aside a motion under consideration. There is a motion to suspend the parliamentary rules for a specific purpose. There are motions to affect a wide range of parliamentary procedures. And books of Robert's Rules of Order, of which every church should have one, include tables of all the possible motions a member could make. Each of these motions have specific language to move them. Each may need to be seconded, each may be amendable, debatable, and each may have a certain amount of vote required to adopt. And two, each of these motions has precedence, determining when and if a motion can be made relative to another motion already being considered. Knowing these, or at least a general familiarity of these, will certainly help streamline meetings of any kind, and especially a chair being thoroughly knowledgeable and experienced in parliamentary procedure can greatly help facilitate productive church meetings. While a book of Robert's Rules of Order, the most recent edition, is a great resource for meetings of any kind, so too the approved Simplified version, especially for groups that may not need the full formal rules contained in Robert's Rules of Order. One final word should be said, however, about Robert's Rules of Order. In meetings of different kinds, a varying degree of formality is often appropriate. Sometimes decisions can be made rather quickly by skipping over many of the formal rules, and is not only appropriate but desired in certain settings. And so, tuning your level of formality and being aware of the general customs of the church can really help expedite the business of a meeting and can make it a more pleasant, accessible experience for many members of a church board. And as in any activity, going beyond knowing the rules to observing how they are lived out in actual situations, and going beyond to actually practice them oneself, will eventually help develop a mastery of Robert's Rules of Order. So thank you for joining in this lesson on parliamentary procedure, and may God bless you today.